Big Dog's pick is if y'all want to go put some money down or put your dog up for Hawk, you got. I'm serious. Put your dog up. People put their dogs.
Dad, shut up.
No, seriously. And I'm not joking.
Who puts their dog up?
You can put papers up for your dog, and you can. If you have expensive dogs, you can trade them to someone.
So you can do that for like Bodie because he's so fucking good looking.
Bodie's about $5,000.
Oh yeah.
So
he's a show dog. If you board him, he gets upset. His fucking hair falls out. Fucking dog has fucking papers.
But watch. My point is.
Welcome to the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, your hub for all things sports. Now, here are your hosts, Dylan and Turner.
Let's go. All right, well, we're going to dive right into this second episode of the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, and we're going to start with the debacle that we watched on Sunday night, the dumpster fire that is the Dallas Cowboys, and what a dumpster fire it was. Absolute shit show. Dak Prescott, 14 for 24, less than 200 yards passing, 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown. Tony Pollard got just 8 carries all night. And the San Francisco 49ers showed why they're actually the best team in football and why the Cowboys were a fraud 3-1 team. First of all, are the Cowboys in real trouble? Is this indicative of things to come?
I'll get out of the way here and go first so your dad can let him have it. But he called it. He called it right last week. He said the 49ers are just going to destroy him, I believe, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't even watch the fourth quarter. I gave up on it at the end of the third. I was at a friend's house watching a little fantasy football get-together, and I said, well, this doesn't happen all the time, but I'm going home. I had my few beers, and I decided to hit the road, and the Cowboys, I mean, I don't know if we can say they're frauds all the way. I just think the 49ers are that damn good. I think they're the best team in football, and it's not really close. Cowboys came in with a game plan to try to take away the run. Brock Purdy just, took him to school. That's also your boy, too, so.
He took him to school.
The key was they got no pressure. That was the thing. The Cowboys had going into the game, the number one pressure defense in football, getting to the quarterback. They got a total of 0 sacks. Micah Parsons, you wouldn't have even noticed that he played in the game. I mean, no pressure the whole game. That offensive line for the 49ers is probably their weakest unit, and yet they still could get absolutely no pressure. And on the flip side, Dak was sacked 3 times, pressure in his face all night. That was a big difference in the game, in my opinion.
All right, now I'm gonna break you all.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't my breakdown.
Yeah, well, here's my breakdown. Number one, they didn't move Micah Parsons around. They got their ass kicked. We have one number 2 receiver, CeeDee Lamb. We don't have 2 number 1 receivers. They've got player for player, could kick our ass in every single category. Number 2, our offensive line is overrated. I've been saying it for 3 years. We put together a line in 2016 to 2019. Dak Prescott won almost all of his games except for the playoff ones. Literally, from 2019 when he got his money to now, he's lost more than he has won. He's been out 22 games or something like that, one almost complete season. Number 1. Number 2, our offensive line is horrible and it's old. Number 3, we have no number 1s. We don't have a number 1 running back.
Nah.
Pollard's pretty good.
He's not number 1.
They don't give him the ball enough.
Okay.
That's why he's not number 1. He is a number 1 back.
Number 2, Dak can't see the field, especially if there's any kind of rush. They are on him more than you're seeing. Meaning you're looking at the game and you don't realize how close they are. He's nervous about getting sacked at all times. Same thing that's going to happen with the Chargers this week. Same thing. Anyway, our defensive. We're not going to put this on Diggs being out. That's ridiculous. Every team has a key players out and they just plug and play except the Cowboys. So there's no way, and letting their linebacker literally demolish our offense. You let one player get 8 tackles. He was all over the place. This is nothing.
Who's that, Fred Warner?
Yeah, nothing to do with it. It's bad coaching, bad offensive coordinating, and completely overrated as far as even the defense. They didn't do anything to fool anybody. They lined up Micah Parsons on the same player the entire game.
Who did they have him lined up? Was it Trent Williams?
Trent Williams.
No, they moved him around. That's not true. They moved him around. No, I watched the game. They moved him all around. He wasn't lined up against Trent Williams all night.
And I'm telling you, it's a horrible plan. And the second thing is, we don't have the players. It's evident. And this
That's
is why,
not true.
I'm done. This is why. I'm almost done. When you look at the acquisitions of these teams, Frisco, 3 offensive linemen, us 0. They went out and picked up we picked up Brandon Cooks, who's at 1,000 yards every season, except for he has 49 yards in the game.
They're not getting him involved.
It doesn't even matter because the bottom line is
because they're playing him in the slot.
No one can pick up a receiver like that and not even go to him. But what I'm also saying is, look at what Jerry did. He spent zero money, except for Brandon Cooks. Who did he bring in? No one. And so this all goes down to him not spending the kind of money he did. I think they said Frisco spent, I don't know the number, but go look it up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're trying to win a Super Bowl this year.
Doesn't matter. You know that we have Tony Pollard coming off an injury, so you have the other guy, what's his name I like?
God, he's horrible. Rico Dowdle.
So my point is that
so bad.
No, my point is that when free agents come, especially offensive line guys, you don't go get them for backup. So we've had one game where 3 of them are out. It's a matter of old versus new, Jerry's money not being spent like he used to. That's what it comes down to. Jerry would never have just Michael Irvin. He wouldn't got Alvin Harper. He wouldn't got guys. He put together teams. He's not doing that anymore. This goes down to Jerry. Done.
No, I disagree. It does not go down to Jerry. Jerry. Yeah, okay. The inherent problem is Jerry Jones, no doubt. He's the inherent issue. And yes, there are some things that we didn't address, but the key problem, and this is just obvious, and I can say it after watching a few things this week, and the problem is Mike McCarthy. The problem is the lack of coaches putting the players in successful places. I watched Kurt Warner break down the film of Dak, and he broke down. I was telling Turner this before we got on here. He broke down the film and he showed it was one of Dak's interceptions. They were showing a route concept the Cowboys do. It's a double slant, and he showed the only way that the play works is if when both guys are running a slant on the same side of the field, the first guy has to run a 1 or a 2 step, then the second guy has to run a 3 or a 4 step. It's got to be at different depths. If they run at the same depth, it's a pointless play. The Cowboys ran that concept 3 or 4 times in the game. Every single time, both receivers ran at the exact same depth, including the interception Dak threw. Now, Dak threw bad passes all night. He made bad decisions. My point is, you look at something as simple as a regular route concept, and you have a guy where it's not one play throughout the game. That happened multiple times where they're just put in poor positions to be successful.
I'm sure that you pull those players to the sideline. I'm sure someone did and say, hey, you've got to do this.
No, my point is that's how they're coached. It's just like, oh, I like this concept, let's run it, and they don't practice the details of this guy's got to be deeper.
I don't think the coaching has been there. The play calling from McCarthy I don't like. But as far as this game goes, and I think we can all agree, the 49ers are just infinitely better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, they are.
At this moment. It's just maybe the Cowboys, and obviously I'm not saying I blame it all on Diggs being out. That definitely hurts the defense. But the 49ers, whether the Cowboys had Shanahan calling the plays for them, whatever, I still don't think they're going to beat the 49ers at this point. I just think they're quite a bit better than the Cowboys.
I actually disagree with that. I do think that the 49ers are better. I actually believe Shanahan is that. I think that's what the game was.
He's the best coach in football.
And I think Mike McCarthy might be the worst from what I've seen.
If you break down the momentum changes, it's a third down play a false start. If you look at the plays, they broke it down online kind of. If you look at the plays that caused the slide, there are a lot of just weird ones like he misses a catch. Dak throws the ball long on one when the guy's wide open. So if you break it down, if they'd have got 1 or 2 of those plays and got it to 14-14, it would have still been a bad game, but they could have got some momentum changing to give that defense a look. When you have that much of a downhill slide, it's over. Let's move on from that.
Real quick, last thing. There were 3 plays, in my opinion, that changed.
Big Dog has things to do.
There were three things that changed the game, in my opinion. Number 1, it was 7-0, I think, or it might have been 14-7. No. It was either at the point that I'm talking about this play. It was 7-0 or it's 14-7. Yeah. Regardless, Cowboys were down 7. It was a third down and 4, and we got to stop. And Jalen Kearse, the guy who I've been just absolutely he was lined up offsides. First down by penalty. Later in the game, it was a 3rd and 14. It's an incomplete pass, and he taunts a guy after the play and gets a 15-yard penalty.
saying.
That was a first down on third. Two times when the game, times when the game was still not out of hand, he got penalties that caused first downs on third downs where the Cowboys actually got to stop. The third play, and this is what, then I'll finish with this, and this is why I think Mike McCarthy is such an idiot. You look at the third play. Coming out of halftime, what's the score? It's 21-7. Whose ball? Dallas. Game is not over yet, okay? Game is not over. It is a 3rd down and 4. You're on the 36-yard line, and you run on 3rd and 4, a shotgun run to Rico fucking Dowdle. 0 yards, and then you kick a 51-yard field goal that they did make in a game where you have gotten they hadn't gotten to stop the entire night. You think 50-yard field goals are going to win it? First of all, if you're going to run the ball there, you're going for it on 4th down. Second of all, Rico fucking Dowdle on 3rd and 4, the biggest play of the game. Not putting the team in a place where they can be successful.
That's your dad's boy.
No, he's the most inefficient player on the team. He's the most inefficient player on the team. That was an absolute ass whooping. Mike McCarthy was put in a blender by Kyle Shanahan.
I will say one thing about that curse penalty, and then we'll move on. Is like he did get that 15-yard penalty, but there was actually I was actually surprised there was 2 15-yard penalties. They called, which was not.
I thought they picked the unnecessary one up.
No, there's 2 penalties, but what I was so confused on is technically I thought both should have been enforced because it was a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, and then it was after the play taunting. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought both
that.
those should have been enforced, but whatever.
And he wasn't really taunting when they broke it down.
I don't know.
Typical standard.
He made mistakes all night long.
Yeah, he's a horrible player, but I can't believe they picked up I can't believe they called that unnecessary roughness because. It was a
horrible call, and
yet. What I'm saying, back to what I said. You have Kirsten there who's played horrible since they put him in.
Never take him out.
It doesn't matter. And you don't go in free agency or do some sort of deal or pick up somebody from somebody else's practice squad. They don't do enough in the regular season scouting to know to bring someone else in. They keep this guy out there. That goes to Jerry Jones. We're fine. Dak's fine. Dak can win us the Super Bowl.
Why is Jalen Curse? But why is Jalen? I know, but why is Jalen Curse in the game at all? It's not the only position. The only position
that's as good as
he wasn't playing in the first couple of games. The only position that got hurt was Diggs. I don't understand why all of a sudden he's playing so much.
Doesn't matter.
Regardless, then you look at the last thing. McCarthy has Donovan Wilson and the starters in at the end of the game that gets hurt. In 4 minutes to go, it's a 30-point game, and Donovan Wilson's out for next week.
McCarthy always does.
I mean, it's so dumb.
Yeah, I know.
In the game when they were beating the Patriots, they had all the starters in up with like 5 minutes left. Yeah. 34 points.
Ridiculous.
Gotta have a momentum start. Dak cannot be in a tough defense like that and start just going to some set plays. If you go in Frisco, start running some fast plays in the beginning.
Let's move on.
Some 2-3 yard gains. Go ahead.
Let's move on and talk about the NFL Week 6, and we'll start with the Thursday night game, the Broncos and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs come in 4-1, the Broncos 1-4. Interestingly enough, Russell Wilson is actually tied for second in the NFL in touchdown passes. Yep. He's got just 2 interceptions on the year, and yet the Broncos are 1-4 now. The team as a whole is worse. It's just a shit show in Denver right now. But more importantly, do the Broncos have any shot in this spot?
Let's go on to what they're going to do. They regressed on all cylinders. Number 1, number 2. Big Dog says, actually that game is going to be a little tighter than people think.
Chiefs have beat them 15 times in a row.
I know.
That's a crazy stat. You did not know that.
I heard it today.
I just saw it online.
I thought it was 7. I thought it was 7.
15 times in a row is I think what it said.
All right, so real quick. All I'm going to say is this. Yes, they're going to beat them pretty bad. And so Big Dog's pick is if y'all want to go put some money down or put your dog up for Hawk, I'm serious. You put your dog up. People put their dogs up.
Shut up.
No, seriously. And I'm not joking.
Who puts their dog up?
You can put papers up for your dog. And you can, if you have expensive dogs, you can trade them to someone.
So you could do that for like Bodie because he's so fucking good looking.
Bodie's about $5,000.
Oh, yeah.
So
he's a show dog. If you board him, he gets upset. His fucking hair falls out. Fucking dog has fucking papers.
But what? My point is that's a bet you could take. What's the line on that?
Wait, what's the bet? The Chiefs?
Yeah.
It's 11.
Yeah. It'll be close to the beginning. I might take that. Our next, but I'm saying they're going to win. Go ahead, Turner.
The Chiefs are going to win the game?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah. Chiefs are going to win the game. Maybe the Broncos score some points. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a dumpster fire. It's not going to get any better. I actually have no idea why I would have to look, and I even said this last week, I think why the defense has gotten so bad. But
what's happened?
I don't know. They're giving up a ton of points too. Russell Wilson has been better. I guess it's not too big of a surprise. Nathaniel Hackett's, although Aaron Rodgers loves him, and
the only person that loves him
is Aaron Rodgers. I know, but I think he lets Aaron Rodgers do it over the football.
Exactly what he
that's
does.
why I likes him. But anyway,
no one else likes him.
I don't think it's going to be relatively close. I think, Chiefs win the game easy.
Chiefs win. Chiefs win pretty easily. I don't see how this game's even remotely close. Yeah. So the best game on Sunday. I actually think this will be a good game. Although now looking at the line just moved, maybe Deshaun Watson isn't playing. But I can't imagine that the line would be that.
I don't know why he's not playing.
But no, it's a rotator cuff.
No, they said he's cleared to play, so
it's a rotator cuff.
They're suspicious of something else.
Regardless,
it's the massage parlor.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh man.
No, but
I can call down there and find out. What city is that in?
Call your girls down there.
What city is the arena?
It's Cleveland.
Where are they playing? Plenty of clubs.
Yes.
Watson did not practice today, but he's not been declared out. He's questionable.
I did read something like your dad said, where it was like, the mystery of Deshaun Watson. Like, I thought he was just hurt, and now people are saying no, he's actually cleared to play. And
he's been cleared to play for 2 weeks.
That's not true.
2
yes,
weeks?
He has 2 weeks. He's been cleared to play for 2 weeks.
I'm reading right here on the 49ers that he has a shoulder injury. He's still not cleared to play.
They say you can still be cleared to play, but that you...
He has a contusion on his rotator cuff.
It can really hurt you. A lot of players get cleared to play that they
don't.
Well,
rotator cuff on a throwing shoulder is a big deal.
Yeah,
that's not something.
To play.
Okay, that's a different argument. Okay,
let's go.
Regardless, the 49ers. We already talked about them. Any chance the Browns pull the upset at home against the 49ers?
Okay, this is my take on this game. Big Dog's gonna talk here.
Let's hear it.
This is gonna be funny. I think I have a weird prediction. I'm sensing some I look into the future. I'm just got foresight. Ready? I think he's going to get sacked and maybe hurt this week, their quarterback.
Who?
Purdy. I think he's going to get hurt. But I think they're going to lose because they have a backup quarterback playing.
No, I think Deshaun's going to play. I think Deshaun is going to play.
I think they're going to get to him a couple of times, and something's going to happen. There's a little bit of a breakdown there. They're not going to win the game. The 49ers are going to win. But I think they're going to get real physical with that quarterback.
Turner?
If Deshaun Watson plays, I think it could be an okay game, but I don't know who's I don't know who's going to beat the 49ers at this point. Obviously in the NFL,
first team that sacks
it's a
that
long
quarterback.
season. Yeah, NFL it's a long season, so they'll eventually falter against somebody, I'm sure, but I don't see them losing the game, and the Browns without Deshaun Watson looked really, really bad against the Ravens, so I would say 49ers by 14.
I want to say one thing. Everyone's raving about him. I picked him after seeing him 4 plays. That's no bullshit.
Who?
I picked Purdy after seeing him no time at all. Guy not have any nerves. But here's the thing. Dak was the same way. Dak was the same thing. First 3 years, oh my God, he's 13-2. And if you look at the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, none of that was Dak's fault. He got us up 28 points. So it's the same thing as Purdy. He plays just like Purdy first 3 years. These are his years. These are the kid's years. Wait till he gets hit. Wait till he goes down to the ground. That kid's going to buckle. He'll break his shoulder. That kid has no strength. He's a wussy. Go ahead. Even though I love him.
I'll say 2 things. The thing you're right about, you're saying it in a much simpler way, which is that the first team that hits Brock Purdy is a team that beats him. Well, I'll tell you what. The offensive line for the 49ers is an injury away from being not even serviceable. And I will also say this. They have been the beneficiary of a horrific early year schedule. Okay? They played some really bad. They played the Giants and the Cardinals the last 2 weeks before Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is a shit show. Week 1, they got the Pittsburgh Steelers. But regardless, the first team that gets to that quarterback, the offensive line, is going to be the one that beats him. And the Browns are second in quarterback pass rush.
Kyle knows that.
So I'm telling you, they also were the beneficiary of. There was not a single hold called on either team the entire game against Dallas. My point being, I'm not saying it's one way or the other. What I'm saying is when you get in a game like that benefits the offensive line that's not as good. So when you get in games where the holds are called 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game, which is going to happen to them, that offensive line isn't going to look as good. He is going to get on his ass. But if the Browns don't beat them this week, you look at their schedule. At Minnesota, win. Versus Cincinnati, the way they look, win. At Jacksonville, win. Versus Tampa Bay, win. At Seattle. The only game that they might lose this season that I'm looking at right now is they play at Philadelphia week 13. That's going to be the tough game.
They protect him, they win almost out. They don't protect him, they're going to lose 4 games. Okay.
And that's why the Eagles are the best team right now, because their offensive line. No other reason. No other reason. They're not the quarterback at all. And we'll get to that later. The quarterback's atrocious. He's not good. He's just not good. Okay. We'll move on, and there's really not, again, it's not a great slate of NFL games, so we'll touch on one more big game, and then we'll go through the picks. So the last game we'll touch on will be the Monday night matchup, Cowboys and Chargers. And the Cowboys come in, they're coming off of a big loss, obviously, demoralizing loss. Dak said it was the most humbling game of his career. The Chargers are 2-2 off a bye. This is a massive game for both teams. If Dallas wins this game, they get to go into their bye week on a positive. They finish 4-2 before their bye. If they lose, they go in 3-3. And you look at that schedule, they still have the Bills, they still have the Dolphins, they still have the Eagles twice. It could slide really fast if they lose this game. The Chargers, on the other hand, started 0-2, and now they're 2-0. But I will say one thing, and then I'll let y'all give your predictions. If the Cowboys offense doesn't get on track through the air this week, then Mike McCarthy is more than on the hot seat. The Chargers are the worst pass defense in football. They've given up 330 yards a game in the air. If Dak cannot have a good game throwing the ball, then either McCarthy or Dak just has to go. Something's got to change at the. No, I'm not saying in the middle of the year. I'm saying at the end of the year, one of them is gone. Because if they don't do it versus this team, they're not doing it versus anyone. This is the worst pass defense in football. It's not even close.
You go ahead and go.
Is Austin Eckler playing or now?
He's questionable.
Yeah,
so he's been back. If Austin Eckler plays, I mean, like you said, I know their pass defense is terrible. Who knows? After the Cowboys put up that stinker against the Cardinals, they came out and killed the Patriots, but the Patriots got fucking smoked by New Orleans 30-something to zip it home.
31-0.
So I don't really know what to expect. Where's this game at?
It's in L.A.
Well, there'll be more Cowboys fans there than Chargers fans, but I'm going to go Chargers by a field goal. I've lost faith in the Cowboys.
Probably good
Herbert,
prediction.
It's quarterback versus quarterback. I'm trying to tell you kids.
Yeah.
These children around me, okay? It's quarterback versus fucking quarterback. Herbert doesn't care who's in the audience, if it's Cowboys fans, that doesn't matter. Dak's not playing good. No, to your point, you can't change the offense today. They don't go in and go, let's run some different plays. That's not how it's going to work.
But they can push the ball downfield more, and they haven't done that all year.
Well, I don't trust Dak on that. No.
That's the only success they had against the Niners, is pushing the ball downfield to Turpin.
Kellen Moore practices with Dan Quinn, so that's going to be a given. Cowboys lose. If they lose, I'm going to pick them to lose. If they lose, though, they're going to go on a slide. They're going to have 2-5 or 2-6. Write it down. They will slide from there.
Well, they already have 3 wins, so it's going to be hard to be 2-6.
3-6. I think it's going to be 3-6 if they lose this game.
I forgot about the underlying battle there. Kellen Moore versus Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, of course, I think in levels.
Yes. You fly higher than us. We know that.
But let's just say at this, not only that.
So you're taking Kellen Moore to win the battle?
Yeah. What's going to really change Monday night? What's changing? What element for the Cowboys is changing? The answer is nothing. What are they going to do any differently? Player for player, the Chargers are going to win.
Eckler being back is definitely an issue because that offense without him is pretty one-dimensional. The Cowboys are one of the better coverage teams in the NFL, but I just cannot. I think the spot is great for Dallas. I mean, everybody's going to be on the Chargers, and you're somehow going into this game as a slight favorite. Everybody thinks Justin Herbert is way better than Dak because he is. He is. He's the Justin Herbert.
But let's remember,
Justin
Dak
Herbert.
Pretty good.
No, Dak was good for 1 or 2 years.
He got hurt.
He was never. He was
good when he was mobile.
He was never as good as Justin Herbert is right now.
All of Purdy's passes last week were out of the pocket. They rolled him right and left.
This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
They rolled him right and left. They used to do that with Dak. They don't do it anymore.
Let's not forget you did have Dak Prescott number 3 in your first official quarterback power rankings.
That's right. You did.
Well, I did because I have to believe in him.
But you don't believe in him.
So now the party's over.
Well, I'm just saying I'm sticking with him at 3.
I'm going to take the.
You're sticking with Dak.
But he's no good.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Chargers to win the game. I do think I do think the Cowboys find offensive success here. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to say Chargers are.
No,
Dallas's defense looks like frauds. That's the biggest.
Get your score. What's your
That's
score?
the biggest frauds. I'm going to say. 34-31. Chargers win. 34-31.
27.
It's going to be a shootout.
17 Chargers.
It's going to be a shootout.
Dallas's defense is going to show up.
31-27.
31-27.
Okay.
All right. Let's go through and pick the rest of the games. We already picked the other one, so we'll start with the international game. We got them in. We're playing in London.
Right.
Ravens versus the Titans.
I will go Ravens there. Give me Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Lamar Jackson.
Titans win that game.
No way Ravens lose back-to-back games after choking one away to the Steelers. Next one, we've got two teams on different paths. The Falcons 3-2 at home against the Commanders 2-3. Turner?
I'm going to go with your dad's boy, Sammy Howell, and the Commanders here. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling, and I'm not sold on the Falcons and Desmond Ridder, and I actually think Arthur Smith is the worst coach in football. So I'll go Commanders.
I'll go with my boy Sam Howell, but it's going to be a tight game. Mark my words. I don't know the line, but I tell you what to bet.
The Falcons are 2.5-point favorites.
All right. Well,
I will take the Falcons. Desmond Ridder, 5-0 at home, 0-4 on the road. They are in Atlanta. I will roll with the Falcons. Vikings at the Bears. Both teams are 1-4. The Bears 0-2 in the division. The Vikings lone
I'm
win.
going to say, with Justin Jefferson on the IR now with the hammy, I'm going to pick the Chicago Bears to win that game, and then the Vikings are going to trade Kirk Cousins. That's my official
they
prediction.
have to trade Kirk Cousins if they're going to do it before the 30th. I think they probably.
You know where he's
will.
going?
I think he's going to
New
go.
York Jets.
I was gonna say
I don't know.
New England.
New
New England.
Man, the thing about him, New England's so damn bad that it doesn't even really matter.
I know.
It's just like, why trade for him when you're that bad?
If it was the
Losing
start
games
of the
by
year,
30.
if it was the start of the year, yeah.
I don't know who
No, I
would trade
don't
for him.
think Bill will do
Bears
that.
or Vikings?
It's Bears will win by 14 points.
Oh,
No,
man.
actually 17 points.
Man, I hate this.
No,
'cause-
14. Let's go.
Okay, make your prediction. All right.
14. The Bears.
I'll take the Bears, and I don't like that we're all on the Bears because the Bears don't deserve to have a unanimous selection.
Bears.
Seahawks at the Bengals. Seahawks 3-1. Bengals 2-3. Got their second one of the season
Joe
last week.
Burrow's back. Give me the Bengals. Jamar Chase is always open, and Burrow must be dating somebody else, or got back together with Livy Dunn. Or
That's
something.
probably
But
what happened.
that's it.
All right. Yeah, the Bengals will win, and they will win by 14 points.
You have everybody winning by 14. Just
I
the way it should.
never.
I see things this week.
2 touchdowns.
I don't like that we're all on the same teams again, but Seattle's not a real 3-1 team. Bengals win and get to 500.
Dang, what's up with this?
I don't
All the
like it
same
at all.
picks.
Don't like it one bit. Okay, 49ers at the Browns.
I'll take the 49ers. I don't even need to. We've talked about them enough. They're gonna
Everyone's
beat the
taking the
Browns.
49ers, but if the Browns can get to Purdy, and
Just
knock
pick
him
the
down-
Niners.
Niners.
Okay. Hold on. I get because my
Real quick. If Deshaun's playing, I'm
No.
picking the Browns.
no. See, that's bullshit. Because
No,
I
I
was
gotta
gonna do
go.
that. No, you
What are you
already picked the
talking about?
Niners. You picked the Niners.
No, I'm saying if he's playing, I'm switching my pick to the Browns.
You can't do a
What would
contingency
you do? Would you
pick.
pick it if you switch to the Browns? Would you
No,
pick?
Niners are gonna beat
You would
the
still pick it. Would you pick it?
If the Browns
If-
had
if
Browns
Deshaun-
had Chubb, I would take
If
the
the
Browns. in
Browns
this spot.
had-
I
Deshaun.
just think it's a bad spot for the Niners, and I think that the Browns could win if Deshaun played. But I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna say
Deshaun plays, they win. But
Okay.
I'll go Niners. Go. I'll go Niners.
I'll take the Niners. Fine, if we get to do a contingency picks, if Deshaun plays, I'll take the Browns as well.
You'd have to know these facts to get a good to say. I mean,
Well, we're picking the games,
go.
okay? Panthers at the Dolphins. Panthers, the only winless team left in the NFL.
these are
Dolphins
by
these are-
17.
Dolphins by
This is-
17.
this is
Just pick the game.
Dolphins is horrible schedule.
Dolphins
This is
by
ridiculous.
21. Colts at the Jaguars. Surprisingly, two
Colts-
3-2 teams, and the winner will be in first place in the AFC South.
Colts at where?
Colts at the Jaguars.
That's a no-brainer. I'm going to go first on this one. The Jaguars are going to kick their ass.
Okay, after your dad said that, give me the Colts.
I will take the Colts as well. And I will take, and I don't think Richardson's playing, so
no, it's going to be Gardner Minshew.
Mustache Minshew for the win.
Trevor's back. Let's go.
So bad.
No, he's not.
The Jaguars are terrible. Saints at the Texans. I'm going to go ahead, Turner.
No, you go first.
I'll go first. I'm taking the upset with the Texans. I think that last week the Saints beating the New England was meaningless. The Patriots might be the worst team in the league aside from the Panthers. Give me the Texans at home. Bounce back after a tough loss. Stroud still looked really good in a loss.
Saints at Texans is the game?
Saints at Texans.
Texans.
Give me the Saints, and C.J. Stroud will throw his first pick.
Okay, I like that. I like that bold prediction.
I was going to go with the Saints, but I'm going to go with Texans.
Okay, good to know your thought process there. Patriots at the Raiders, the two dumpster fires of the AFC right now.
Man, I can't. The Patriots couldn't look any worse. Are they going to start Zappy this week?
I don't know.
Again,
Belichick in his press conference said, Mac Jones is our quarterback. That's what he said every time. Mac Jones is our quarterback.
You know what? This week at practice is going to probably be so brutal for the Patriots after losing by 30. Just give me the Patriots. I can't see Bill Belichick losing by a combined 60 points and then losing again. I just can't see it.
I think you're right. Here's the thing. If they had lost by 30 these last two games and they played anyone but Josh McDaniels this week, I would fade the Patriots. But he's the worst coach I've ever seen. He rivals Nathaniel Hackett as the worst coach in NFL history. Josh McDaniels does. I will take the Patriots. Call me crazy. There's no way I'm betting on Josh McDaniels.
The Raiders are getting it together with the middle receiver, number 16. Jacoby, what's his name?
Jacoby Myers.
Oh, that kid's...
Ex-Patriot.
I have him on my fantasy team.
The Raiders are going to kill him.
Okay. Cardinals at the Rams. Cardinals at the Rams.
Cardinals at the Rams. Has to be a good little game there.
I'll pick this one first. This is the Rams' season. If they lose this game, you can pretty much count them out. Stafford's played really well this year. Kupp was back last week, and they literally threw all over the Eagles. They just couldn't get it into the end zone. I'll take the Rams. The Cardinals' game plan last week was a joke. Jonathan Gannon is an idiotic head coach. Give me the Rams in that one at home. They'll win and cover.
You go.
I'm gonna beat your dad to this, but it's going to be a physical ball game because the Arizona Cardinals are physical.
They weren't physical last week.
But the Rams will win by a touchdown.
By a touchdown.
The Rams will win this game. Yeah, they'll win this game. And they will win the game by 7 points.
You just stole my prediction.
Oh, well, I'll do 14.
Yeah, another 14.
I'm a gambler.
Another 14.
Fuck that.
Eagles at the Jets.
Don't even
go ahead, Dylan.
Just don't even. How do you even go against my boys?
Do I dare take the Jets here? Look, all I know is the Eagles are going to lose one here soon.
Eagles by 13.
Give me the New York Jets by 3.
My boy is Jalen. Saw him in preseason. Predicted he'd be a starter within 5 games.
Of course.
It's like
it's quarterback guru, guys. For people that don't know.
I'll pick the Eagles.
That was easy. Yeah, you could have saved us all some time, but there's always one weird game that you never expect each week, and that's the one I think it's going to be.
Go ahead.
Last year, the Eagles, the first loss they had was against Commanders at home as like 14-point favorites. So, Lions at the Buccaneers, both they have a combined. Who would have thought this? In Week 6, those two teams have a combined 2 losses, and it's the Buccaneers coming off a bye and the Lions on a 3-game win streak.
I'm taking the Bucs here. Yeah. I just feel like the Lions, good football team, not a great football team on the road. I don't know. I think they're just going to lose the game. No, don't have any crazy analysis on that one, but I will go Bucs by a field goal.
Jared Goff can throw the ball 75 yards. Number 1. Number fucking 2.
Throw a ball over them damn mountains.
I saw his ball. It looks like it's coming off his wrist like a fucking cannon. They're going to kill him. The Bucs are going to lose. Go ahead.
This is a coin toss game. I like Turner's pick. If he had taken the Lions, I think I would have had to go Buccaneers. I think it's going to be like a weird 1-point game where like the Lions just sneak a field goal late and win, but it's going to be a tight game. It wouldn't shock me if Tampa wins. If Tampa wins this week, you can start talking about them as a real playoff team.
Asshole, what's the guy's name?
Baker, your boy.
Baker, my boy. he is going to get 2 picks this game. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right.
2 picks.
Worst game they
picking a
could have
fumble, either
worst game they could have had on Sunday Night Football. The Giants at the Bills.
I'll take the Bills.
I'll take the Bills by 28.
Bills.
Okay, and then the last game we actually already picked, Chargers and Cowboys. We all took
Yeah,
the Chargers. Let's move quickly to college football, and we actually, unlike the
Gosh, I'm
NFL,
good at college
we have
football.
some really good matchups.
Son of a bitch.
So let's kind of we'll do a little bit more in depth on the big games, just quick dive in, and then we'll pick all the pick 'em games for the week. The top game for this week is a 2:30 kickoff. I think is game day in
Notre Dame?
Washington. No,
What's the game you're talking about?
Oregon, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's.
I would assume they're
I
in
think it's.
Seattle
I'm
for that,
assuming
yeah.
it is. So Oregon 5-0, 2-0 in the Pac-12. Washington the exact same record. Number 7 are the Huskers, and the Ducks are number 8. The winner will have basically the walk-in spot to the Pac-12 championship game. They're playing in Washington. Washington, super high-powered offense. Michael Penix might be the second favorite, I believe, in the Heisman behind Caleb
not that
Williams. Penix, very good. They have 2 NFL caliber wide receivers. Question is, do they have a good enough defense? Is Oregon too physical for Washington, or is Washington going to overpower them? The only good team, and I'll start with a quick little breakdown from mine. The only good team Oregon has faced was the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and I wouldn't even qualify them as good. It was before they lost Tyler Shuck, so they were a little bit better.
Starting to play a little bit better.
They are starting to play a little bit better, but Texas Tech moved the ball up and down the field on the Ducks. Not only should the Ducks have not covered that game, that was very close to being an outright loss. Tyler Shuck had 4 turnovers in that game, and Tech still had the ball with a chance to win the game under a minute to go. So I question the competition that Oregon's faced. I do think they're physical. They're more physical than anything Washington has
I
seen.
just look at the team.
But I think in a matchup like this, you look at Michael Penix. He's lost 1 game at home in his collegiate career. He started at Indiana, went to Washington for the end of his career. And I don't see them losing at home in this spot. They've been prepping for this game. Both teams are off a bye as well, which is an interesting perspective. So I think Kalen DeBoer, the coach for Washington, is much better than Dan Lanning. Not that I think Dan Lanning is fine, but I think DeBoer is maybe the best coach in the Pac-12, one of the best coaches in the country. I will take the Washington Huskers. I think it's going to be the best game of the week. We had a good game with Texas and OU last week, but haven't had some great top 25 matchups. This is going to be a heck of a game. Washington wins it by a field goal to a touchdown late.
Penix, like Dylan said, has only lost once at home. I'm not sold on Oregon, especially I watched that game where they played Texas Tech. Should have lost the game, ended up getting that pick at the end to win by way more than they should have. I'm going with Washington at home by double digits.
Oregon will win the game. Bo Nix will take control of that game. Their coach is better. Washington's a tough place to play. Oregon will win the game. They might make the playoffs.
Well, I think the winner of this game goes to the playoffs.
No, not necessarily, because Oregon plays USC. That's not even
So
close.
are Oregon and Washington on the same side of the Pac-12?
I
or
believe
did they stop that.
I believe they stopped it, and it's all. I think that
It's just top.
I think
two
it's just the top 2 go
Okay,
now,
that's better,
and
yeah.
so I think this is still whoever wins this game probably goes no matter what. The only way they wouldn't is if all 3 of those teams, USC, Washington, Oregon, all split, and I don't even know if Washington plays USC. Yeah, they do. They're at USC.
They do.
So if they all 3 split, I don't know what it comes down to. It might be who's the higher 2 ranked teams in the college football playoff. But
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
If they all split
This
them.
Yeah.
game is probably the most important game to both of their seasons, number 1. Number 2, so I go with the edge to Oregon there,
why?
just because I think their coach is better.
I disagree with that completely.
No.
Kalen DeBoer is way better of a coach than Dan Lanning.
I like what Daniel's done. I like his little fire. Yeah, and I like money, and I like Nike, and I like money, and I like the fact that they're going to get some good uniforms for that game.
Oh,
They're going
yeah.
to go out there to Washington.
Your dad's a big
boring as shit.
uniform
I've been
guy.
to every city in America, every fucking city, every hellhole city throughout my career in the music business.
You been to
everywhere.
Eugene?
Hell yeah. Bottom line is fuck. We can't name. I probably know clubs all over Eugene.
You been to Des Moines?
Yes. Des Moines, I've been up there.
Shit,
It's a
been
fucking
everywhere, dude.
one day I went
Fucking-
to 6 states
fucking
in one fucking day.
troubadour.
So
Well, how about hold on real quick.
I'll
How
be
about
no
Dan?
troubadour.
How about Dan Lanning against Colorado saying that we play for wins and they play for clicks when they were playing Colorado, while having an all-access crew in the locker room, knowing very well that was going to get clicks. The Chris Leak,
Yes.
Dan Lanning, is very strong in you. It is. It's very strong in you,
fucking
Dan.
love that shit. I would have the crew follow me around like that movie Along Came Polly. What's it called?
Oh,
He has a kid
Philip
home-
Seymour Hoffman?
Yeah, the movie was
the crew
oh
following
god,
you.
Crocodile Tears.
Crocodile Tears, yeah.
You're the kid that played the bagpipes in
Yeah,
Crocodile Tears.
that's right.
And my dad's basketball game is just like Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Let it rain, baby.
Rain dance.
Rain
Let it
dance.
rain.
So
Iceman.
All right, so we already got that. Oregon's going to win that game. Next pick.
Okay, we're moving on. Miami, number 25, comes in 4-1. Yes, 4-1 with a loss against the North Carolina Tar Heels. Mac Brown, always good for a stinker every year. It happens without fail. Last year it happened against Georgia Tech when Georgia Tech won 3 games. They were at home with a chance to basically walk into the ACC title game undefeated, and they dropped that game. However, the central story here is Miami. And I'll give my pick real quick, but Mario Cristobal, the Miami Hurricanes, up by, what is it? It was 3.
Takes a lot of balls to do what he did.
33 seconds to go.
Seriously,
Sometimes it's not smart, just balls.
listen,
Go ahead.
the extra 3 yards in the box score.
Fuck yeah.
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah. A bunch of wuss bags. Go ahead.
33 seconds to go.
Run the ball.
The opponent has no timeouts, and all you have to do is take a knee, and Mario Cristobal decides to run the ball. He fumbles. It was funny because I actually don't think it was a fumble, but they ruled it a fumble on the field, and you just, every angle that they had, it was blocked by something, and you just couldn't overturn it. Georgia Tech goes 3 plays, 78 yards, scores a touchdown, and he looks like an absolute idiot because not only did he make this monumental mistake, but he's done it before. 5 years ago, when he was at Oregon, they were playing Stanford. He did the exact same thing, and I think it was Travis Dye, who was the running back, fumbled for Oregon. It allowed Stanford to get a field goal, go to overtime, win the game in overtime, same thing.
I can't remember exactly. I think that one, watching it, like recalling like what was going on, it wasn't as hellacious as this one,
Right.
33 seconds, because I think it was like something along the lines of like they were going to have to punt with like 9 seconds if you didn't waste the clock. Like you could have backed up and whatever, but not put yourself at risk. This one with 33 seconds was probably the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
I think
You run the ball.
I think what it was, you're right, it wasn't, but I don't think it was like 49 seconds. I think there was like 44, and it was like,
Whatever,
you could
yeah.
basically just take a long knee or roll out and fall down, and you could have done it, and he
don't
didn't.
do that shit
Regardless,
at all.
what it looked like, Turner, is, you know, when we're playing NCAA football back in the day, and one guy's up by 3 or 7, and it's just like, hey, it's a dick move to not to take a knee here. So just run the ball and, you know, just give him a chance. Well, make it interesting. And that's exactly what he did.
For the people at home that need to know, I won with class at NCAA football. Under 2 minutes, I take a knee. Victory
Not me.
formation,
Not me.
and I don't.
Pound that run clock mode.
Yeah, exactly. I don't run clock mode. I make them sit there for all 40 seconds, and I take a knee.
All right,
We
give
win
me-
with class.
Give me,
your pick.
I don't know how you come back as a player from that this week. How do you play for your coach after he did that? He
you do
cost
play.
you your undefeated season. And how do you face your team? Especially, I mean, everybody's all over Twitter. They see that he's done this before. So there's no way you respond. I've seen players who quit on coaches. This is the type of thing that happens.
No.
And I think that they quit on him this week. And I think North Carolina beats them by 14-21. If that didn't happen, this would have been a really good matchup.
They're gonna turn on him. He's lost the locker room. I guarantee you. All the players see it on social media, and you know maybe in the moment not realizing what's going on. If I'm the quarterback and have any kind of brain there, I'm not listening to them saying, "No, I'm just gonna line up. We're gonna take a knee."
Yeah.
Like I mean, but you know,
We don't take knees.
yeah, Mario
No,
Cristobal
no.
does not take a fucking knee. North Carolina and Grandpa Mac Brown by 7.
The U will win the game, and they will win by 3 points. And they will.
If you're going to pick the U, you better put the U up.
U's going to win the game, Michael Irvin. The U is going to win the game.
You basically are the U. You're a U kind of guy.
I'll tell you what, we're going to win the game.
All right. Okay, so
we need to get you like a big turnover chain that you can throw on. Big gold,
I fucking wear it.
Big gold U chain.
I probably got 3 of them.
I mean, on the back of his door in his bathroom, there's a whole jewelry like hanger of just everything.
35 chains. I discover them every day.
I mean, it's
You gotta
just
have lots of chains. Go. Bling is good.
Okay, moving on. We'll go to the next ranked matchup. Going to be, I think, a good game as well. And we've got Notre Dame taking on USC. USC, despite winning the last 2 weeks, has dropped a spot each week because they've played very poorly. They blew a big lead against Colorado, they were up 35-7 at halftime, ended up winning the game by just 7. Then they played Arizona last week. It took 4 overtimes to beat them. If Arizona goes for the win and goes for 2 in the first overtime, I think they probably win the game, and this isn't nearly as big of a matchup. On the other hand, I'd like to take one shot at the Notre Dame athletic director. I cannot believe the atrocious schedule that man set up for the team. He put them in a position to lose. They had matchups back to back. They went home versus Ohio State, at Duke, at Louisville, home versus USC. All 4 were undefeated at the time they played them. Obviously, you don't know that Duke's going to be quite that good, but you know that that's a really, really tough stretch. It's the toughest stretch in college football. I've said this before. We talked about this off air. I think that if Notre Dame doesn't have that stretch of a schedule, they are a playoff caliber team when healthy. And I think that the AD cost them a chance to play for the college football playoff. It'll be interesting to see. I think Notre Dame wins the game. I think they win by 3-7. I think they upset USC. They're too physical. They will run the ball, keep the USC offense off the field, and Notre Dame will find a way to win. Sam Hartman is one of the better collegiate quarterbacks. He didn't play well last week. He's not going to play. He's not going to play bad again this week. He still has 16 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions on the season. But give me Notre Dame to take down USC and spoil their undefeated season.
I think the Irish are going to be a little bit too physical for them, like you said. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. USC's defense, they can't stop anybody. Obviously, Caleb Williams is great, but I think the Irish win that by 7. I do agree with you. It's a tough schedule. Notre Dame always plays tough schedules, especially with the way, they had those back-to-back road games. But I will say, as you mentioned, it is hard to gauge, how good Duke's going to be or how good Louisville's going to be.
Right.
And if you go traditional Notre Dame schedules like 5 to 10 years ago, they'd be playing fucking Michigan this year.
Yeah,
they
that's
used to
true.
play Michigan every year.
That's
so
true.
At least they get a little relief. Stanford's fucking awful.
Yeah.
So there's that. But, I think Notre Dame can be physical, run the ball, win the game by, I don't know. We'll say win the game by 4.
Okay.
USC is going to win the fucking game because they have the best quarterback in college history. And that's what it fucking comes down to is fucking quarterbacks. When are you guys going to wake up? All right, let's go. Next one.
The best quarterback in college history?
Yes.
Better than Cam Newton, better than
Oh,
Tebow,
fuck
better
yeah.
than Johnny,
Cam
better than...
Newton sucks.
You know that
Don't
Caleb...
talk about Scam Newton that way.
You know that Caleb Williams has never been to a college football playoff.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, but he's the best quarterback in the history of college football.
Let's move on. Don't argue me about quarterbacks. Let's go.
Okay, we're gonna go speed round, and we're gonna give a quick pick for all the games that I give you right now. All right. Thursday night football, we've got West Virginia at Houston. If you want me to give you the lines, because I know you don't really know who's the favorite. Do you need me to give you the line there, buddy?
West Virginia at who?
West Virginia at Houston. I'll give you the records. Here we go. I'll give you.
I don't need
No.
records.
West Virginia 4-1. West Virginia 4-1. Houston 2-3. West Virginia 2-0 in the Big 12. Houston 0-2. Game is in Houston.
West Virginia because I watched them this year.
Okay.
They're actually pretty
West
good.
Virginia's going to win the game. They can run it. Defense pretty good.
Yep, give me West Virginia. They got quarterback position figured out. They finally can throw the ball. They've got a better defense, better running game.
Not too bad.
All right, next game. We've got actually a fun matchup on Friday night in the American Conference between two teams at the top of the standings. We've got Tulane 4-1 and undefeated in the conference, facing off against this with the same record, Memphis 4-1, 1-0 in the American Conference.
Where are they playing?
In Memphis.
Go.
Give me Coach Fritz, the ex-Sam Houston State coach, in Tulane beating Memphis. I just think they could run. The physical team run the ball, and I saw Memphis play a little bit against Boise State, and they won that game because they blocked a field goal. So
That's true.
I will take Tulane.
Memphis in descendants. They'll win the game. I swear y'all are going to just suck this week.
I'll take Tulane. I watched Memphis against a bad Boise State team barely squeak one out, and even though the score for a little while looked like they might even cover, but I'll take Tulane. They're way more disciplined, better football team. I'm only going to do this one because
Padrino.
L'amore Padrino. Let's go to fucking Padrino, La Padre. Like the Godfather. I'm like Jimmy the Greek, fucking
Make sure
David
you
Lee
put
Roth.
this in.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I know.
And Kreskin, you know the Marines. You
Jim
predict the
Morrison,
future.
though,
Jim
obviously.
Morrison. Okay, go ahead. What now?
Georgia versus Vanderbilt. I'm only including this. You don't even have to give an explanation. Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because my dad's client or worker Bailey is a Vanderbilt fan for some reason.
He wants to go on the show and talk about Vanderbilt.
Oh, he does?
Yes, he
He's
does.
welcome to
He's
come
gonna
on the
produce
show.
The show soon. He's gonna the studio. He's gonna start producing.
Oh, I like that.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. I'm going to put this one on just because I think it could be a little bit closer than people think. Number 3, Ohio State at Purdue. Purdue's 2-4, Ohio State undefeated.
Purdue sucks ass. Ohio State by 28.
There you go.
Ohio State. You want to go to the playoffs? I already said Ohio State's going to the playoffs.
He's getting choked up
You
talking
keep
about
saying that and then
I'm
you
about
forget.
To cry. I'm about to cry right now because I think they're going to maybe win. Let's go. Next.
Every-
I don't like the quarterback that much, but I like Ohio State right now. That coach fired him up. He's a genius.
Ohio State smacks.
stupid genius.
Ohio State smacks Purdue. Ryan Day looks like he should be working at Nationwide,
Ryan Day
and
is-
Ohio State does not go to the college football playoff.
I hate Ryan.
I hate Ryan Day as well. Okay, Arkansas at Alabama.
Give me Alabama.
Alabama, all 3. Okay. Iowa State 3-3, 2-1 in the Big 12. Been surprising bounce back here in the last couple of weeks. Upset TCU last week, I believe at home. They travel on the road to Cincinnati, who's 2-3.
I will take. Yeah, I'll go with Coach Campbell and Iowa State.
Iowa State.
I'll take Iowa State as well. Okay, moving on quickly, we'll go Cal at number 16, Utah. Cal got smacked at home against Oregon State. They started a freshman quarterback, and Utah is 4-1. Their lone loss came at Oregon State.
Real quick, is Kim right?
I think he's out. I don't think he's going to play the rest of the year. I don't know. He's been out the
wonder
whole...
what's wrong with him. Yeah, they always show him warming up on the field like he's going to play.
And he never
then
plays.
He never does.
Yeah.
Utah by a gazillion.
Utah by a lot for me,
Utah's
too.
gonna
Utah. All right. We already picked Oregon-Washington. We got that. Here's a good one. A&M off a loss at home to Alabama travels to a Tennessee team who's ranked number 19 coming off of a bye week. They're 4-1, and their only loss, albeit a beatdown, was against Florida on the road. Tennessee at home.
I don't think Tennessee's great, but they're going to beat A&M at Neyland Stadium. Give me the Vols.
Is the quarterback for A&M the left-handed guy playing?
Yeah, the other guy's out for the year.
Yeah, they're going to lose.
Max Johnson.
They're losing.
I'm actually...
Down to the quarterback.
Look,
Let's go.
I'm just going to say, talent-wise, A&M is just as good, if not better,
They're
than Tennessee.
More talented.
It's a bad spot for A&M. Something tells me that this is a big game for that staff. You lose again here, and you're just the same old A&M. I don't think those kids love Jimbo that much, but I do think A&M puts up a good fight here. Something tells me A&M wins. I can't stand A&M, but I will take them in this matchup.
No one loves Jimbo.
That's true, except for Jameis Winston. Here we go. We got a really weird one here as well. Kansas, the Jayhawks back to number 23. Not sure if Daniels is playing this week, but Jason Bean has done pretty good as the backup. Number 23, Jayhawks 5-1. Go travel to Stillwater. Okie State off a big upset last week against Kansas State at home on a Thursday night, or on a Friday night rather.
I got a weird feeling about it. I think Oklahoma State's just going to win again. I don't know why.
Okie State on the upset.
That's my guess.
I like it.
Okay, Oklahoma State.
I'm going to take Kansas. I agree. The line indicates that I think that Okie State's the side, but I'm going to go with Kansas. I just think the Jayhawks offense is too good. Quickly down the line, I know this is a lot of games. We'll go Florida at South Carolina. Florida 4-2, South Carolina 2-3, kind of playing for their season here. South Carolina at home.
I can never pick Graham Mertz in anything. I'll take the lesser of the two evils and Rattler and take South Carolina.
South Carolina's my boy Rattler.
I'll take South Carolina as well. South Carolina has a short favorite at home. Next one, we've got BYU 4-1 in the Big 12. They're playing their third Big 12 game against TCU, one of the bigger disappointments of the year, albeit I don't think any of us, except for my dad, are surprised TCU's 3-3. He thought they were going to be very good. We both thought they were down this year. They've looked down. I think TCU has to win this one at home.
Oh, it's at home.
It's in Fort Worth. I will take TCU, but by a field goal.
TCU.
Give me TCU.
This game will set football back a couple of years. Iowa at Wisconsin, each team with one loss somehow.
That is a slobber knocker.
That's a slobber knocker. That's the slobber knocker game of the week right there.
Yeah, it is.
Slobber knocker game of the week.
Sponsored by Miller Lite.
Sponsored by Miller
Slobber
Lite.
knocker of the week.
That's right.
Who's your pick?
I want you to go first.
I'm gonna take. Iowa's defense looks good as always. I have not seen Wisconsin play, but Iowa's offense is atrocious. I'm gonna take Wisconsin by a field goal.
Yep.
And the game, I'm hoping for one of those classic slobber knocker rock fight Big Ten games. I'm hoping for a 13-10 game, and I'm gonna take Wisconsin.
I like that pick. And here, we are not a gambling show at all. We are a sports show. But I will like to say one thing. It's very interesting to see this total is 34.5. And the line is 10. Wisconsin is favored by 10 in a 34.5.
So they don't think
total.
Iowa's going to score.
So they don't think they think Iowa is going to score 14 points if that. No, not even. Yeah. Less than that. Yeah. About
Wisconsin in the over. Go ahead.
Wisconsin the over. That game is not going over. I'll take Wisconsin.
It's going over.
Wisconsin by Wisconsin.
No, it's going
and
over.
here's what will happen.
Tricking you in Vegas.
It'll be 9. It'll be 9-7.
2 hotels.
9-7. Iowa's only touchdown will be on defense, and Wisconsin will win because of a safety. Okay, Louisville at Pittsburgh. Louisville's undefeated, coming off a big win. Pittsburgh's 1-4.
Oh, Pittsburgh's 1-4.
But it's in Pittsburgh.
I was gonna pick them, but if they're 1-4, I guess I'll take Louisville. Louisville's the worst 5-0 team of all time. I don't actually mean that. I think they got Notre Dame in a really, really good spot after getting beat up 2 weeks in a row. I don't think they're that great, but if Pittsburgh's 1-4, I haven't seen them play. I'll take Louisville.
Okay.
Louisville loses to Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay. There's the upset of the week right there. All right. I'll take.
Write it down.
I'll take Louisville. It's going to be closer than people think. Tough to get up for a game after you beat Notre Dame like that in an environment at home at night. But I do think Louisville finds a way to win. Arizona, fresh off a 4 overtime loss to USC, a heartbreaker. They traveled to Pullman, Washington to take on Wazoo and the Fighting Mike Leaches. Washington State, number 19, coming off their first loss of the season. They lost at UCLA last week.
Not going to go good for Arizona. Washington State by 14.
That's a tough place to play.
Like what I saw in Arizona, I'm going Arizona.
There's no way Arizona wins that game.
Yeah, they do.
Washington State is too good offensively. But there will be a ton of points scored in that game. Quickly, Auburn, LSU. Auburn 3-2, LSU 4-2. LSU's 22. It's in Baton Rouge.
Oh, I wanted to pick Auburn there just because LSU's defense is so bad.
I know.
I think Auburn can get stops, but I will at home. I'll take LSU.
LSU, and they're going to buy Brian Kelly out of his contract a year from not this year. Not next year, but the next year.
I'm
saying next year they're going to have to.
I said that last week and you laughed at me.
I said when he gets to $70 million like Jimbo, they're going to buy him out.
Okay, I've got LSU as well. Kansas State at Texas Tech.
Money down Louisiana,
where's the game being played?
It's at Texas Tech.
Okay, you're saying home team second. You know what? Red Raiders are playing much better football. I'll take the Texas Tech Red Raiders beat Kansas State, and Kansas State looked horrible against the bad Oklahoma State
they did.
team. I'll take Texas Tech.
Yeah, they did.
Kansas State will win.
It's a literal coin flip. I'm going to take Texas Tech just because they've been playing better offensively. Kansas State looked awful last week, like you said, Turner. I don't know how they find a way to win this one. I don't think they can score enough points with Tech. Give me the Red Raiders by 4. Let's go. Interesting matchup in the Mountain West. Wyoming, fresh off an upset win at home against Fresno State, now has to travel on the road to an shockingly undefeated Air Force team.
I hate to say this because those are my Wyoming Cowboys, but Air Force will win that game, and it'll be a nasty, I think we're talking like 17-14
Yep.
game.
I hate to pick against the Cowboys, too. Tough to come off of that at home environment, upsetting a ranked Fresno State team and pull another upset as a double-digit dog. I'll take Air Force in a close one.
Wyoming.
Okay, Wyoming. All right, we already picked USC Notre Dame. We already picked Miami, North Carolina. Missouri, 5-1, coming off a heartbreaking loss to LSU where they led for the majority of the game, going against another team off their first loss. Speaking of Slobberknockers, Kentucky got Slobberknocked by Georgia last week. It was embarrassing performance. Kentucky was supposed to have a really good defense, and Georgia annihilated them. Kentucky at home. Who do you got?
Kentucky beats them.
Kentucky beats them.
Missouri, and that'll be the best game aside from there'll be one other game that'll be good, but that'll be the second best game on Saturday.
I'm gonna take.
God, I'm so good at this.
I'm gonna take Kentucky only I'm going to take Kentucky only because they're at home. That's going to be a very close game. Next one, UCLA takes on Oregon State. Both teams with one loss. The loser of this game likely not going to get into the Pac-12 title game. It is in Corvallis at Oregon State.
Oregon State in a uglyish game by 4.
UCLA.
UCLA's defense hadn't played a team with a pulse until last week, but they shut down Cameron Ward, who I thought was one of the better quarterbacks in the country going into that game. I think that defense is for real. They proved to me something last week. That said, the UCLA quarterback, who's a freshman, there were kind of rumblings that if he didn't start this year, he was going to transfer. He's a high 5-star kid. He's not even the best quarterback on the roster, so that's a big issue for them going to Corvallis. I'll take Oregon State, although I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game because I don't think UCLA can move the ball, and I don't think Oregon State can move the ball much on that UCLA defense.
All right, what else? We're not picking every game, are we?
No. NC State at Duke.
I don't want to give my shit away.
Shut up. Sure. NC State at Duke. Duke is number 17. I don't even know, is that quarterback for Duke out for the year?
I have no idea, but I've seen NC State play football, and they suck. I'll take Duke. Your dad's going to start at quarterback for him this week. They'll still beat NC State.
I think Duke's quarterback might be out because they're only 3.5-point favorites at home.
Like I said, I think you put a running back there, no idea. They're going to kill NC State.
What is NC State's record?
4-2. And I'll take Duke as well. Duke by 5.
NC State's going to win that game.
Okay. Let's go. Well, we're going to just pick this last game only because it's the Fighting Trent Dilfers against our hometown UTSA Roadrunners. UAB at UTSA. I don't even know why we're picking this game, but fuck Trent Dilfer, and UTSA is from San Antonio. So give me the Roadrunners.
And Trent Dilfer, I trust. Blazers by a field goal.
Trent Dilfer is my sworn enemy.
Quarterback at UTSA, do we have him right now?
Frank, I don't know if he's playing or not.
Yeah,
Frank Harris, I don't know.
Well, I think
he is playing. I think he's back.
Dilfer is not a college coach. He is not. He's not. This is not going to turn out good for him.
He's going to show you this week.
He is going to get beat.
Frank Harris did play last week against
He's
Temple.
going to beat.
And they scored 49 points.
UTSA is going to win the game.
No, UTSA is going to win the game. But I'm just
okay, we're going to do a quick segment. 2 truths and a lie. So I'm going to give you 3 statements. One of them is not true. Ready?
Go. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins leads the league in touchdown passes. Number 2, Jordan Love is tied for the second most interceptions thrown this year with 6. Or number 3, Daniel Jones leads the league in sacks taken with 28. Which one of those is not true? Again, Kirk Cousins leads the league in touchdown passes. Jordan Love is tied for the second most interceptions thrown this year by an NFL quarterback.
First. Go ahead.
Or Daniel Jones leads the league in sacks with 28. Which of those is a lie of those 3?
Number 2.
So you think Jordan Love?
I know what it is, and only because I saw the stat. And this is shocking.
It is shocking.
Sam Howell has been sacked more times than
God.
Daniel Jones. That is the lie. So that, and here's the thing. The Commanders' offensive line sucks too, but Sam Howell just holds onto the fucking ball too long.
Yep.
He takes a lot of sacks, and he can't move. He's not a bad mover, but of course he can't move like our guy Dimes. He's quick as a cat. He gets out of a lot of sacks.
It shows you how bad Sam Howell is that he's taking that many sacks. That is.
He's got a lot of nerve.
He's going to be a good guy like that. That guy's going to be a stud. Keep going next.
He leads the league in interceptions.
Doesn't
Okay, number 2. So you're 0-1.
You know what? He gives me Brett Favre vibes.
Oh, God.
Little gunslinger.
Brett Favre.
Little gunslinger action.
Baker Mayfield is top 10 in QBR with just 2 interceptions all year. That's statement number 1.
That's true. Go ahead.
Number 2, Jared Goff has the second highest QBR behind just Brock Purdy. Or number 3, Mike White is the backup quarterback in Miami. Which of those is a lie?
2. Number 2.
Number 2?
Number 2 is a lie.
Number 2 is a lie. Jared Goff is not second in QBR. Josh Allen is second. Jared Goff is 5th. All right, 1-1, 2-0. All right, number 3, Mike McCarthy is the second lowest paid NFL coach at $4 million per year. Number 2, Tyreek Hill leads the NFL in both receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. And number 3,
I don't think that's true.
Green Bay Packers backup quarterback is Nick Mullins.
Their backup is Nick Mullins. Number 2 is wrong.
Number 2 is wrong. Turner?
I am going to say number 2 is wrong. I think someone has more touchdowns than him.
So number 1 and 2 are both correct. Number 3 is wrong. The Green Bay Packers backup is not Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is actually the 3rd string quarterback, and he's on the IR for the Minnesota Vikings.
You fucked me on that, dude. You told me he was the quarterback.
Guess who the backup is? No, he wasn't. Sean Clifford is the backup, the former Penn State quarterback.
Kid sucks.
Tyreek Hill does lead the NFL. He's got 651 yards and 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns is the lead? I figure someone would have
He's
more
tied
than
for the lead, but yes.
let's go.
All right, number 4. Okay, not a single NFL quarterback this year is averaging more than 300 yards per game.
That's true.
Number 2, Doug Peterson won a collegiate championship and an NFL Super Bowl as a player. And number 3, Jim Harborough rushed for more yards in his career than Bo Jackson.
2 is wrong.
Number 2 is wrong, and the number 3 is just so obscure it has to be true.
Right,
like
exactly.
it has to be
So
true.
number 3 is true.
Yeah.
Number 2 is actually also true. Doug Peterson won a championship as in the
He's
FCS.
So smart, and he wrote a book.
He won an FCS championship as a player, and he won a Super Bowl as a player. Number 1, not a single quarterback is averaging more than 300 yards per
Josh
game.
Allen's
No,
in front of
Tua
him.
actually. Tua's averaging over
I
300.
knew there was only one.
Okay? Only one.
Man, yeah, let me go first. You're screwing me up.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Okay.
Golly.
Okay. Number 2. Only got 2 college ones, and that's it. All right. College number 1. So we're gonna go number 1, Jaden Daniels, and I'll say that's the quarterback for LSU because there's a bunch of J Daniels, right?
there are.
So Jaden Daniels, quarterback for LSU, leads the country in passing touchdowns with 19. Number 2, JT Daniels
Yeah.
is the starting quarterback for Rice University. And number 3, Shador Sanders leads the country in passing yards. Which of those is a lie?
I'm gonna say that. God, that's a tough one.
It's a really tough
I'm
one.
gonna say I know for a fact that number 2, whatever you said, I know JT Daniels is
Yeah.
Rice, so I got it narrowed down to 2. I'm gonna say it's number. God, teams have been scoring so many damn points. I'm gonna say Shador Sanders. No, he probably does. I'm gonna say number 1's a lie.
Number 3, because Shador doesn't lead the league in touchdowns.
Number 1 is a lie.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams leads the country in passing touchdowns with 22.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is second with 19. Shador Sanders does lead the country in passing yards, 2020.
Because they've been down in so many of those recent
Right.
games that all they do is throw. They have no running game, so I figured it had to be.
And he
them.
threw for like 550 the first week.
Yeah.
So, okay, last one. This will be a good one, okay? Chip Kelly has only been a collegiate head coach at 2 different universities.
That's
Number
true.
2, USC versus Arizona was the only game last week featuring at least one top 25 team that went to overtime. Or number 3, Tom Herman is currently the head coach at South Florida University.
Number 1, because Chip Kelly has coached for 3 teams.
What are those 3 teams?
UCLA, Oregon, and Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska.
I think number 2's the lie.
Number 2 is the lie?
I don't know.
What are you saying?
Number 1's
Tom Herman is at USF,
One-
isn't he? Or,
Number 3 is the lie. He's at Florida Atlantic.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got 'em
Not
mixed up.
same thing. Chip Kelly has only been a head coach at 2 different universities. And number 2, USC Arizona was actually the only game of any of the. I said top 25,
went to
but there
OT.
was the only
I
overtime
was
game
thinking of
last
the
week.
before there was more OT.
So here we go. This is going to be a new segment. It's called This Week in Sports, and it's going to be basically an ode to Stu Gotts and his weekend observations. I'm kind of copying it, not trying to steal it, but I think
And
it's
we also want to be sponsored by Miller Lite.
Yes.
That's why he's doing it.
absolutely want to be sponsored by Miller Lite. This is the poster child for Miller Lite right here. If you ever need somebody to be a great spokesperson and emulate all your core values, this right here is your guy. I mean, he's an absolute Miller Lite
You said it. You
homer.
said it perfect, brother.
Thank
Amen.
you. Okay, so here we go. This Week in Sports is brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Also Miller Lite, absolutely not an official sponsor of this podcast. Turner, I once declared that he looked finished. 36 for 46, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, a double-digit win. And just like that, Joe Burrow is back. I guess Jamar Chase was right. He is always open. Speaking of back, the Detroit Lions. Lions 4-1. 4-1.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love the Lions, man. Bill Belichick, Cincinnati Bengals, collision course. Jordan Love, 3 picks, 0 touchdowns, a 13 quarterback rating, but the Packers still have a chance to win the game. You know what that means, Turner? They must have been playing against Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels punting from the opponent 27-yard line, down by 3 in the fourth quarter. Collision course. 30 seconds left, down 3, without the ball. Do you know where you have Mario Cristobal? Right where you want him. Taking a knee. Overrated. Let's make it interesting. I felt like he was playing the old NCAA football video game and was just like, let's give him a chance. Let's see what happens. This is a dick move to take a knee, you know. Mario Cristobal, sexual assault allegations, collision course. Death, taxes, and the Texas Longhorns choking one away. Tie game, under 2 minutes left, with the ball in OU territory. Do you know what the Longhorns did? They let one slip right through their fingers. Do you know what the S in Steve Sarkisian stands for? Shitty coach. Quinn Ewers, do it for 4 quarters. Oklahoma, losing at home to West Virginia. Collision course. Turner, do you know what Missouri plus 5.5 against LSU was?
A loss.
A bad beat. CJ Stroud, Rookie of the Year. Bryce Young, bust. Dan Jones, permanent brain damage. Collision course. I'm now convinced of my lifelong suspicion that Mike McCarthy's play sheet is actually a Waffle House menu. Hey, Mike, that seat is getting pretty hot. The Chicago Bears are undefeated following the death of Dick Butkus. Washington, Oregon, game of the week. Winner to the college football playoffs. You can't say Texas Longhorns without choke job right after it. Do you know what disgusting football looks like, Turner? It looks like the Iowa offense. Iowa Hawkeyes, less than 22 points per game, 250 yards a game, 130th in total offense. Do you know what nepotism looks like in college football? Look no further than Brian Ferentz. How the heck are the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-2? Seriously, how the heck are the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-2? That's crazy.
Mike Tomlin, the best coach in football. Never a losing record.
It just makes no sense how on earth they've won 3 games. They just
Put some respect on that man's name.
It's the ugliest 3 wins I've ever seen. Jacksonville Jaguars off an upset of the Buffalo Bills, losing at home to Gardner Minshew. Collision course. The mustache. Legendary. Doug Peterson looks like a guy who eats his own boogers. The New York Jets have been ahead in regulation in just 1 football game, yet somehow have 2 wins. 49ers defense, do it against a real quarterback. Sharp bettors running to the window on Thursday Night Football to take the 11 points with the Broncos, only to watch them lose by 50. After missing 2 weeks due to injury, Deshaun Watson discussed his rehab program that got him healthy. It included a lot of massage therapy. Clayton Kershaw, bum, do it in the playoffs. Texas Rangers, losing in the World Series in 7 games. Collision course. 1 strike away twice. 2 times. Too many injuries. Giant waste of time and money. International NFL games are just plain stupid. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year, collision course. How the heck is Ryan Tannehill still a starting quarterback? Oklahoma defense, do it against a team who doesn't have Quinn Ewers at quarterback. Kirk Cousins, New England Patriots, collision course. Tyreek Hill said on his podcast that after football, he wants to become a porn star. What a legend. This week, the NHL regular season finally starts up, which means Only 4 more months until I start paying attention. Desmond Ridder can scoot. Also, Desmond Ridder, do it on the road. 5-0 at home, 0-4 on the road. Don't be surprised if the Houston Texans win the AFC South. Also, don't be surprised if they don't. Derrick Henry, washed. Kyle Shanahan was arrested after the Cowboys-49ers game for what he did to Mike McCarthy. I hate them. Isaiah Pacheco can scoot. Mike McCarthy gets $4 million a year to do that. I hate them. Georgia Tech lost by 11 at home to Bowling Green State. Then beat undefeated Miami on the road the week after. If that's not college football, I don't know what is. Steve Sarkisian had a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line and couldn't get in. After the game, Sark said if he could go back, he would change the 3rd down call. Hey Sark, how about changing head coaches? Fire yourself. Next time you think the Cowboys are for real, just stop. I hate them. Jimbo Fisher absolutely looks like a guy who crushed his White Claws while ripping menthol Jewel Pods. Nebraska, Illinois set the game of football back 37 years. Sam Howell benched for Jacoby Brissett. Collision course. Ohio State do it against Michigan. Maryland Terrapins up 10-0 in the second quarter against Ohio State, catching 19.5 points, only to lose by 20 on a meaningless field goal. Do you know what the Maryland Terrapins did? They left the back door wide open. PJ Fleck absolutely looks like a guy who has 14 kids trapped in his basement. Is it just me, or is there something just a little bit off in Philadelphia? Jalen Hurts, overrated. Anyone can throw the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown when they have 37 seconds in the pocket. The Milwaukee Bucks get Dame Lillard for Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen. Do you know what that trade was? Highway robbery. Still can't believe the Milwaukee Bucks fired Mike Budenholzer 2 years after winning a title. The hell we doing? Speaking of hell, Art Briles. That is This Week in Sports.